Carney has also mentioned that he has a pitch to unlock trillions in global investment.
I think there's job opportunities and kind of build or help build our economy, build the industry. We don't want to be followers. We want to be leaders.
TF Team, news you can use. I'm your host, David, joined once again by Pierre Tomacek. We're going to focus on some news here across Canada and focusing on Ontario as well. So this week, we have had Mark Carney, our Prime Minister, come out and say that the U.S. has changed and we must respond. This is what he said. The world, he said, has become a more dangerous and divided, and Canada must reevaluate its most critical international relationships and undergo a shift in national strategy. So what does this mean for Canada if we can no longer sort of rely on our biggest trading partner?
You know what? It's like in financial planning and investment planning, you should never have all your eggs in one basket. So we always talk about diversification. Not that the U.S. is good or bad, but I think now our relationship has kind of changed or evolved. We've been in the going out stages for the longest while. We didn't want to commit to get married. We're getting there. But now it looks like, maybe we'll be better apart. We'll still have some strategic stuff, such as, the automobile, industry and things of that nature. But it's really diversifying our interests. So let's see. We've got a big South Asian population. We've got, Hispanic population, Asian population. Why don't we diversify? This is one of the greatest countries in the world about being this melting pot. Why just focus on one? Let's just go around the world and let's ply our trades, and hopefully it will grow our economy. Now, the only thing is that no one's foolish enough to think that this will happen overnight, right? So this is a long term. This is what I like about leaders, if they have a vision. So this is not a 2-3 years or 3 months. This is a long term. This is a generational kind of vision. So eventually we're laying the foundation for the next generation to ensure that we don't have these hiccups in the future. So I just think it's, positive.
Okay. So again, you sort of stress that this is more of a long-term goal, that we might not feel exactly the effects of this immediately, but going forward, diversifying our trade with other partners will hopefully make us less reliant on one particular partner, especially if that one particular partner isn't playing as fairly as they might have previously.
No comment.
No comment. And you did mention, of course, the relationship that we were in. I just want to quickly say that if that marriage included being the 51st state, I'm kind of glad we broke it off. This does bring up another interesting thing, though. Carney has also mentioned that he has a pitch to unlock trillions in global investment. So Mark Carney has invited about 100 of the world's biggest investors to a summit in Toronto in September. The conference aims to pitch organizations that control trillions of dollars in capital on investing in Canada. Again, we're talking about bringing in more trade, bringing in more partners, diversifying. So what will this actually translate to, and how will this translate into actual tangible benefits for us?
Well, I think there's job opportunities. In our capitalistic system, we're always looking for individuals with capital to come into Canada and kind of build or help build our economy, build the industry. So who's got the money? Why stay in Canada? We're just a small portion of the world economic landscape. So let's bring the people with the money, the people with the vision that will create, the next wave of technology, the next Apple, the next Amazon. So why don't we get these individuals and let them start thinking about Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver as a good place, a place that foster economic growth that will reap benefits, not just for them, but for our country as a whole. So all this to me is basically positive stuff.
Okay.
It's almost like in football, where you get the combine, where you bring all the top athletes, right, to one place at one particular time. Let's bring all the top financial leaders one place at one time, talk the vision, and maybe we could pitch them that this is a great place to be, because guess what? every other country, every other cities are doing the same thing.
Okay, so this hopefully will bring in some benefits to us. Again, this seems more of a long term.
Exactly.
This probably won't benefit us immediately, but if we can bring in a company, if we can start, say, the next Shopify, a wonderful Canadian success tech story there, right?
Yes.
If we can bring in or foster something like that, that can reap great benefits for us.
I thought you were going to say BlackBerry. Just scared me for a second.
No comment.
No comment.
And again, I am to understand that Canada has a very highly educated workforce as well. So anyone out there who's listening, come on over to Toronto in September.
Definitely. I mean, AI is the kind of the next boom, right? So let's be leaders, right? So let's not, it's almost like that, again, sports analogy, right? That whole thing about Wayne Gretzky being the greatest. Why? Because he doesn't go where, he anticipate where the puck is going to go and he goes there as opposed to follow the puck around. We don't want to be followers. We want to be leaders. So let's anticipate where it's going to go. These individuals are the individuals that will shape the future. So why not go to the horse's mouth and let's bring him here so that way we can be part of that future.
Okay. Well, this hopefully, again, will bring us some benefits. So thank you, Mr. Carney, for bringing in these people. This does bring up another bit of news, though. It seems like Canada's international transactions in securities kind of went down. International transactions in securities generated a net outflow of funds of $19.2 billion in the Canadian economy in February, following a net inflow of $35 billion. So 1 month we have 35 coming in, and the next month we have 19 going out. So what does this sort of mean for our economy and the confidence in Canada's economy?
Yeah, I think short term, we're probably seeing a dip like we do, but long term, I just think this is more of a blip. I mean, if you remember back in CSC class, probably chapter 3, when we talked about the flight of capital, capital is sensitive to its environment, right? And right now, unfortunately, it's not conducive to foreign individuals coming in. We're a very high tax jurisdiction. We have a great deal of red tape. So it takes a lot to basically start up shop in Canada, and it's less expensive. Unfortunately, love them or hate them, down south, you could start shop pretty much right away, and your tax level is significantly lower. So now that all these things are coming to light, we're kind of seeing investors kind of shying away. And then coupled with everything that's going in the world in terms of the war situation, so people are kind of putting their money aside and not starting to invest. But I anticipate this is kind of a short-term pain type of situation, but in the long term, I think we're Carney and the rest of the federal and provincial governments are on the right track to get us back to where we were before, and we'll see that positive outflow kind of stabilize.
Okay, and again, we do obviously have that other story of Carney trying to bring in those people to bring in that investment. So hopefully we can turn that around. You did mention also the Ontario government. I just wanted to quickly mention, it seems like Doug Ford bought a jet the other week for his travel, and then quickly realized the optics of it weren't very good and has decided to sell it. So if anyone has $30 million kicking around and wants a new jet.
Stephanie? No?
No takers here?
No takers.
But what do you think about the optics of this? In our current economy, did it seem like a wise move for Ford to buy that?
Yeah, I think they dubbed it the gravy plane. Type of thing. You know what? We're never here to talk politics, but it kind of brought it to life to me, whereby was this a need or was this a want? So a lot of times when I go through exercise with my clients about cash flow, about budgeting, and then we differentiate between discretionary expenditures, variable expenditures, and fixed expenditures, things that we actually need, like food and lodging. So I think this was more of a want as opposed to a need for the government. Having said that, there are some pros and cons for having this plane. Having at your disposal, you become more productive and more efficient, but maybe the optics, like you said, it wasn't the right time. Right now, you and I were collecting our pennies, waiting for gas prices to drop, and then we drive to the gas station, fill up, and then once it goes up, then we, sit and wait. So I think the logistics and the optics wasn't right at this particular moment. Going forward, it might make sense, but it's really more of a want than a need at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to argue. It's an absolutely enormous province, difficult to travel to the north. There's a lot of remote communities, but again, it just maybe doesn't look good right now. And with the Strait of Hormuz issues, maybe they won't even be able to get the jet fuel anyway. So maybe that problem will just solve itself.
Exactly.
They'll
Uber.
Exactly. And in other news, we were talking about investments and large corporations. I think you mentioned Apple, and we also have some Apple news this week, too. It seems like a longtime CEO, Tim Cook, is stepping down, and they're bringing in John Turnus, who's, I guess he's quoted as being their hardware guy. It looks like, I guess, probably just because of the uncertainty of a new leader, Apple's shares have gone down just a touch. But what do you think about this new hardware guy stepping in?
You know what? He's kind of been instrumental with all the new developments in terms of the watch, the Apple Watch, and all the other hardware components and some software components. So I think it's just positive. I mean, we saw the same thing. 2011, Steve Jobs leaves, Tim Cook comes, uncertainty builds. Who is this guy? The stock price goes down, market cap goes down. But what have we seen since Tim Cook since 2011? We saw market cap go roughly from $380 billion for Apple to $1 trillion. I can't even count that high. 12 zeros. I can't even fathom that. Went from 1 trillion to 2 trillion to 3, and then today we looked it up.
It's almost
4 trillion. Yeah. So, and in that growth, I think you said Jim Furt or
John Turnus.
John Turnus.
John Turnus.
Turnus. Yeah, I can. All I know, he was behind the scenes and he helped to also grow that company. Yes, we saw the stock prices, kind of dipped as a result of that announcement after the markets closed. But you know what? I only see rosy pictures for Apple. And even myself, I mean, where's my phone? Right? Even myself, right? I was, late to the Apple game, kicking and screaming with my BlackBerry. My kids were laughing at me of having a BlackBerry.
Good Canadian company.
Yeah, and I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm all into Apple. So
this is not a product endorsement.
No, not a product endorsement. But when I look at the table, everybody has an Apple phone. Some also have an Apple Watch. So, you make the call.
Fair enough. Well, that's been our news for the week. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us today on the TF team. Take care and see you next week.
Bye.